Hey everybody, my name is Brad Galley. Work at Channel 7, which is a news operation, and I've got great news for you. Joining us today in the biggest panel room that we have at Motor City Comic Con, Emmy-winning, absolute star, and fan favorite, welcome to the stage, Christopher Lloyd. She must be talking about this character here on the front cover of our program, huh? We have fans lined up to take questions from you. What has it been like as we get set to hear from them? What's it been like meeting them and seeing so many of them here with you here at Comic-Con?
Amazing. Thank you all for being here.
Give us your question for Mr. Lloyd.
Yes, I'm wondering, how come we never got much backstory behind how Doc and Marty met?
How come we did not get much of a backstory of how Doc and Marty met?
Oh my God, that was not but a good one. That's just see, because there was never any kind of set, you know, this was Marty's life before or Doc's. It just began. The first cut, the first movie. It's just like, I don't know what Doc may have emerged from. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, the 80s movies were not very big on context.
We'll go to the other side, please, if you have a question.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a question, but I just wanted to say, I first watched Back to the Future when I was 7 years old in 2008, I guess. And I just wanted to say that that movie completely changed my life. And you had a profound impact on me and my life's choices, and you inspired me, and I'm now going into my last year at USC studying physics.
Congratulations.
Physics, acting, majors in physics and acting, and a minor in filmmaking. And I owe it all to you. You inspired me profoundly, and I thank you so much for that.
Wow.
Thank you.
When you get stopped on the street and you get told stories like that, what does that do for you?
Well, I've done, you know, quite a few movies, whatever, but none has approached the kind of gratitude so many people have seen these films or stories come back. So many today, fans will say, you made my childhood, remarks like that. And so many people have told me, like yourself, they were inspired to be a doctor, a surgeon, an engineer, a scientist, on and on and on and on. And it's just, I'm very proud to be a part of this enterprise, Back to the Future. Thanks so much for so many people. And, Michael says the same thing, just you know. So I'm grateful to be a part of that.
They truly are timeless, and I know we have so many fans of the movies, and you have a question for us.
Yeah, actually, Clue is my favorite movie of all time. I was just wondering what it was like working on that set.
What was it like working on the set of Clue?
I mean, that was pretty early in my film life. And to work with such an incredible group of actors, you know, each one of them was a star in his own, her own right. So the challenge of that part was a wonderful British director, I don't recall his name, but it was a true ensemble. You know, that used to be an ideal in the theater. I did a lot of theater. To get a group of people together that could do 8 plays a season, and they could all find and flexible enough to find different roles, and that was, you know, and work together. And that was an ideal, an ensemble. And Clue was a true ensemble. I mean, we were such a diverse group, but we loved the story, we loved the script, and it was great.
Thank you.
So many iconic projects. Thank you for your question. We'll go to the other side and take your question. Mr. Lloyd.
Hi. So my last name is Addams, and I had a decent life being a part of the Addams Family. And so my question to you is there anything you especially liked about being part of the Addams Family?
Is there anything you especially liked being a part of the Addams Family?
What's the name? Uncle Fester. Which means to rock. I tell you, when I was a kid, growing up, my family subscribed to the magazine, the New Yorker magazine, which regularly had cartoons in every issue. It was supposed to be very literary, you know, kind of thing, but I just grab it and flip the pages until I got into a cartoon. And Charles Addams was a contributor in each issue, weekly issue. And very often there'd be a cartoon with Uncle Fester. And I dug Uncle Fester. 7, 8, 9 years old. And his wonderful sense of mischief and kind of evilness, and I just enjoy it. So that's a phase. And then decades later, I got a phone call. Would I like to be a Fester in a movie? Are you kidding me? So that's what happened. So I love doing it. I love doing it. I'm working with, again, an extraordinary cast of the other characters. It was, loved it. It's great, like a childhood dream come true. If you want to be an actor, you know, so good, all good.
You brought up Michael J. Fox's name and what Back to the Future means to him. These fans, and so many fans, anytime the two of you reunite, whether it's for a photo or something like this, people go nuts. What's it like for you when you get together with Michael J. Fox each and every time?
I don't know, it's funny because when he came in to the Back to the Future 1, shot for 6 weeks, and decided that the actor who had been cast for Michael, it wasn't working out. And they'd go on to try to get Michael for the part before they even began to shoot, but he was doing family ties. I think he was tied up. So they just decided they had to make a transition. We were working at night in the market, and around 1 o'clock in the morning, it was announced that after we ate, there was an announcement we made. And we showed up, everybody, and we were told that tomorrow morning, Michael J. Fox would be joining us. And my first thought was, because I thought, I sweated it, getting, I had a childhood relationship with what the hell, I can't see the movie.
The other actor?
No,
Marty?
no. Oh, I'm confused. I'm thinking of another one. I said, no, I'm on the right track. But I just thought, my feeling was like, well, I've shot for 6 weeks, establishing character and getting everything just right. I don't know if I can do that. That's my feeling. I have to repeat those scenes, but Michael and I, it was just, it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting to know you, going through a whole thing, We just walked over the set together and we were Doc and Marty, just like that. And that sense of mutuality, whatever, it never left us. Today, when we get together, and I saw him a couple of months ago, we're Doc and Marty. It just don't go away, and it's great. He's so wonderful, and so courageous, strong, fabulous sense of humor. Good man.
You have a question?
Yes, well, first off, speaking of Clue, I'm one of the actors for the Dinner Detective Murder Mystery Theater, but anyway, working with, what's his name, Howie Mandel in Walk Like a Man, the scene where you're shoving him under the water, being with Howie's OCD and him not like being touched, how did he handle that after you were like shoving his head under the water after multiple takes?
You shoved Howie Mandel underwater, despite the fact that he's notoriously OCD about being touched. How did Howie Mandel handle being touched by you?
Well, he was underwater, my goodness, I'm trying to remember. I held him underwater in the film about...
He was raised by wolves.
Hmm?
He was raised by wolves and you were his brother, the movie Walk Like a Man.
It walked like a man.
Yeah. I don't remember that moment. I could lie.
We appreciate the honesty. We'll take another question here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I was told not to ask you what your favorite sandwich was. I'm not going to do that, don't worry. But, you know, I appreciate all of your advancements in science, but I was going to ask if there was any, like, fun shenanigans happening behind the cameras, like any sort of like pranks that you guys would throw on each other working on the Back to the Future films, like if there were any fun stories like that.
What comes to mind, in Back to the Future 3, there's kind of a carnival, kind of a festival. It's at night, and I dance with Clara, and Michael's doing something with getting a pistol or whatever, but it was a lot of fun. And the band that played live right there on the set for the dance music and all that was ZZ Top. Happened to be a band that I really liked. So that was cool. And the dancing, and it was a great, very real party.
Thank you for your question. Yep. Oh, look at this. We'll go to this youngster over here with a question.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hi, my name's Lane, and was it easy to pick up like the tunes in Roger Rabbit?
Easy to pick up the tunes in Roger Rabbit? Was it easy to pick up the tunes in Roger Rabbit?
Roger Rabbit. Well, I tell you, they had that. They wanted to work. It had to look real. When we were carrying a tune, we were actually not carrying anything. Supposedly, we're just. And first of all, there was a guy whose name I can't remember now. He was an active comedian, and they hired him to be off camera, so that when we were talking to Roger Rabbit, this guy would be there dressed up like a rabbit. And he was a comedian, so he could be very funny and very rabbity. He got a voice for it that was kind of rabbity. And so we had that. That was a big help. He would, with his own personal comedy, he'd be a voice doing the rabbit's line. That's great, because you can really focus on something that helps you. And then also they had a guy train, a woman actually trained a mime, a pantomist, and they made a rabbit, Roger Rabbit, a dubbing that was about that big, and it had real weight. I don't know, 20, 30 pounds, whatever, but it was a solid piece of thing. And so to work with this, and she would bring up muscles to use, if you and then they take that fake rabbit away and shoot it. And you would learn the movements as if you were actually holding it. So, and I guess it worked.
I'd say, hell yeah. Is anyone else deathly afraid of his character in Roger Rabbit? That was the first time I ever had nightmares.
Well, I remember when I was in my late adolescence, early teens or something, was a time when the first Walt Disney animated films came out. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, golly, there's Pinocchio, what else?
Dumbo. Bambi.
Yes, Bambi. All those films, I went to every one of them when I was a kid. And there were things that I saw watching those films that kept me up. So I figure it's payback.
I want to sneak one in. Mandalorian. You are in the Star Wars universe now. That episode was just very unique in its nature, and your character, a little bait and switch, spoilers, but what was that experience like being in Star Wars?
Oh, I love that makeup. Well, I didn't have the costume, regal and stuff, all that. I like that in any situation. But it's such an incredible show. The technology involved, that a set that could become anything, with lighting and just moving a couple of walls around. It's stunning that, you know, they do it. They really do that show. And I love the part. I want to come back and do some more of that.
Take another question over here, please.
Okay. I binge watched Back to the Future, the animated series on DVD, and you did live action segments at the beginning and end of each episode, but you did not do the voice of the animated Doc Brown. Why is that?
Why didn't you do the voice of the animated Doc Brown in the animated Back to the Future?
That's the first I heard about. I'm mad at
Well, you create live action segments.
I have no idea.
Thank you for your question. We'll grab another one here. We'll take a few more questions before Mr. Lloyd heads back to me with more fans.
Hi, love your characters, like Nick Nikowski and especially Emmett Brown. And so I wanted to know, like, how'd you develop the character Emmett Brown? Did Robert Zemeckis and you work together, or did he give you the freedom? Because to me, you just don't read the lines. You like, you know, give really a three-dimensional character in Back to the Future. So how did you develop that character?
How did you develop the character and become the character of Emmett Brown? He said you didn't just read the lines. You were the character and you lived it out and made it three-dimensional.
Well, partly, but before I'm kind of awed by physicists, you know, scientists that deal with such complex and hard to comprehend points, you know, that they're like Einstein delved into atomic, you know, stuff, and he comes up with E equals mc squared, something like that, which explains everything. And other story, I mean, some scientist I read about, he was working on trying to find a solution to some incredible mystery. And he was getting on a bus and putting change in the bus, and it came to him. In the same way that Doc Brown had a brainstorm about the
Flux capacitor?
flux capacitor. And he fell down, banged his head on the edge of the toilet.
Yeah.
You know, but that thing about discovering something that, you know, I know on a small scale, I'm sure everybody's, you know, you think about something that you're trying to understand, or where did I leave this, or whatever, and then you have a brainstorm, and it all comes to you. So I felt that Doc was that kind of guy. He loved figuring out how things worked, you know, not just mechanically, but in terms of